Hello and welcome to this Reanimated animation video. Animations are one of the things that make Reanimated application very smooth and very sweet. So in this video, we're going to see how we can perform the Gmail swipe animation, and we're going to see how we can perform the animation that when we swipe it to the right, it gets deleted, and also when we swipe it to the left, it gets deleted. So we are going to be doing all this with Reanimated. So guys, a free way to support this channel is for you to hit that like button and subscribe button so that YouTube can show this video to many people that are willing to learn React Native PangestureHandler Animation. So right now, let's get started. Welcome back guys. So before we proceed, you just have to go over to the GitHub repository and grab this template or the boilerplate from there. It contains the initial project that we just built, that's the expense track application. So I actually want to lay an apology to that because while I was recording that video, I was not in a convenient environment. I kind of realized at the end, I kind of made some couple of mistakes, but at the GitHub repository, you're going to find the complete source code of that project. So back to our Gmail swipe interaction. If you notice here, I created a folder with some couple of email data. So all these are there for you with some couple of colors. So I kind of use some random color for each of the data. So just go ahead on the description, you're gonna find a link and just grab it. I'm going to create some couple of files. So I'm going to create a call to action file. I'm also going to create an email item.js file. So make sure that in between that everything is camel case. So make sure there is a capital I over there. Then we are going to create another file called email layout. We are also going to create a Gmail file. We are also going to create a Gmail container, and we are going to lastly create an index.js file. So this is where we are going to be constructing our navigator inside this index.js file. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. I'm going to import React from React, and I'm going to import some couple things from React navigation/stack. So inside here, we have to bring in the create stack navigator. And I'm going to import some couple things. So let's just give it a comment of components. And I'm going to import Gmail from Gmail. Then we can actually export any asset that we want. So we can export any assets in an array. Then let's go ahead and create our email stack. With the create stack navigator function, then we can just go ahead and export const. Make sure that this stack sorry guys for that. Export email navigator, which is a function that's gonna take in. So let's just do it directly. That's going to take in the email stack dot navigator. So inside here, we have to disable the header mode and set that to none. And inside there, we have to bring down the email stack again .screen. And let's just give this one a name of Gmail. So assign the component of Gmail, and we can just go ahead and close that. So do not forget to set the initial route so that it will always make use of the Gmail. So it's kind of long. I use TypeScript, but I cannot prefer it, but I got some couple of requests that I should stop using TypeScript. So in order to make things simple for both the advanced and also the ones that are trying to pick up, we can just flow along with this normal JavaScript. So right now we are done with that, and don't forget to come over to this app and we can just quickly import that. So I can just import from source / we have the Gmail, and we have to import the email navigator. So let's just grab this line and paste that here. So let's just call it email, and here we can change the navigator to email navigator. And for the initial route remains all apps. So let's go ahead and open our application right away to actually see. So you could see we have the expense app, and also I kind of forgot to change that. I will just go quickly to all apps. So inside all apps, we can just change this to Gmail app, or let's say Gmail swipe, because that's the swipe animation we want to do. And for this one, the navigator is email. So when I click on it, it's going to take me to this component, but the component we've not yet set that. So just type down RFE and make sure you change this to Gmail. So I can just import some couple things from our restyle. So /theme, and I can just import the box as well as the text. So I can just change this to email swipe. So let's save that and refresh our application. So let's try to open that. So right here, you could see our screen is actually showing, but I think it's because we've not yet added a flex of font. Let's kind of vary the background color of primary to make sure that everything is working perfectly. So right away, you could see immediately the background of that changes. So we are not yet seeing any text because this kind of not using the safe area view. So if you notice here, let me kind of close every other file. And if you notice here, we have a Gmail container. So we are going to be constructing something that is going to help us, because for some reason, I don't know why Expo is not behaving the way it should. So we are going to be using this Gmail container to wrap every other thing from our Gmail file. Then I can just call it Gmail container. And don't forget to export the Gmail container as well. Then inside here, we can clear this, and we have to import safe area. Let me just do this quickly. Then we have the safe area view. We also have from Expo status bar, the status bar itself from Expo. Then we also have constants from Expo constants. Then we have theme. We have the theme, and we are not using the box or the text. So let's just go ahead and import that from the theme. And here we can just quickly use the safe area view. Then every other thing goes inside here from the children. Then inside here we have the children as well. And then for the style, we have a flex of one, position of relative in case you want to float anything with absolute values. Then we have a padding top of constant status bar height, so that it's going to like kind of push down that text. Then here I can just use the status bar. So why we use the theme is because we want to give it a background color of theme.colors. Then here we can make a selection of the color from the object. Then we can give it a custom style. So let me close this of lights. So that solves it, and let's save. Our text is still not showing because we've not yet added a color. So let's just give it a color of white. Nothing is yet showing. Okay, sorry guys, we've not yet brought in the Gmail container. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work fine. So let's just say components. So we have to import the Gmail container from the Gmail container. So everything here goes inside this Gmail container. So let's save. So right now you could see the email swipe as well as our status bar has taken effect. So we actually done setting things up, and right now let's get started. We are going to start off by designing this section. And if you notice here, we kind of have a top, and also we kind of have some couple of slide views over here that contains for the tabs, but we are not going to be working on that. Our main focus is to make sure that we are able to achieve something that looks similar like Gmail swipe, and we are going to be working on that. So let's just quickly dive in. So I'm going to create something called an email top. So it's just going to be an inline component which is going to return. Let's just put a null value for now. And here we can give it a flex of 1 and justify everything here to flex end. So because I want to give something a height. So let me go ahead and open our application again. And over here we are going to have a box. But before that, this box is going to okay, let's just do it this way. Here, let's first of all work on this one for the email top. So let's go over to that component. So instead of us to return a null, we can return a box. So we are going to have a height of 50. Then inside there, before we proceed, let's just go ahead and finish up with the styling before we proceed. We're going to have a padding vertical of small, a flex direction of row, background color of white, align all the items to the center. Then we have to give it a custom styling because of the box shadow. Because of this box shadow over here. But React Native box shadows kind of give us some couple of headache. Well, let's just go ahead and give it a try. If it works fine, better. But I'm sure it will work fine on iOS devices. So I'm using a Windows emulator. So we have a shadow color. We already have shadow color. Let's say shadow offset of width of 0.2. And here we have a shadow opacity of 0. Shadow radius of 5. Border radius of 5 as well. Then we are going to have a border width of 0.2. Let's go ahead and save that to see. Well, it's not bad. Not bad, really not bad. So let's kind of save. Let's give it a flex start for now. We are still going to come back to give it a flex end. So at that top there, it's not bad, but let's just go ahead. And inside here, we are gonna give it a box, the flex direction of row. Then we can align all the items to the center, justify everything here to space between. So we have two things to justify together, so that's why we use space between. Give it a background color of white and give it a flex of 1. Then we are gonna have, so this box is gonna be, we are gonna have 2 boxes. So the first one is going to be for the icon and the second one is going to be for the avatar. So here we have a box and here we also have a box. So for the one of icon, it's gonna have for this one, we're gonna have from icons. So I didn't import that, but hopefully that should be imported automatically. Or even if you cannot import it, let's just quickly do that. From Expo. We have at Expo vector icons here. So we can use icons quickly. And here, we're gonna give this one a name of menu because we have that hamburger menu. Then we have a size of 30, a color of 07070. Then we are gonna have a text with a style of margin left of 10, and here let's give it a variant of body. Then here we can just give it a search email. So let's save that to see what we have. So it's kind of not properly aligned because we have to give this one a flex direction of row and also an align center, align items of center. So let's save. Then for this one, we're gonna have an avatar. So this avatar is coming from React Native elements. So let me kind of quickly show that. So from React Native elements, so that's where we are getting that from. And this avatar is gonna have a container style with a background color of #4dd0e1. We want it rounded. So we can just pass rounded here and give it a title of, so you can just give it a title of whatever you like. So for me, I'm just gonna give it a title of my name, and let's go ahead and save that. We are not yet seeing anything. That was actually refreshing. So right now you could see we are seeing some things now. So that's it for the email top. We are still going to be coming back to the animated version of it. So for now, let's just go ahead and work on the design first. Then secondly here, after this email top, we do have a box. So we're gonna have a box for this primary social promotions and forum. Then let's just quickly do that. So this box is going to be for the width. Let's give it a width from dimensions. So let me just quickly do that. We have to grab some things from dimensions, and here we can just say const from dimensions dot get window. Then we have the width and also the height. So this is not like a more professional Gmail application. Our main focus is on the swipe. So for this one, I'm gonna give it a width plus 200, and we are gonna give it a margin top of large. We can also give it a flex direction of row. Align all the items to the center. Then inside there we have a text. So for this text, let's do it this way. Margin right of extra large, variant of title, font size of 16, and then we have a color of primary. So this one is primary. And we're gonna have another text. So let me just copy this so that we can speed things up. I just have to paste this, paste another one, and format that properly. So this second one is social, while this one is promotions. We also have another one called forums. So it's just simply that, okay, all of them are the same. So let's just go ahead and save and see what we have. So nothing is actually showing right now, so I don't know why. But let's go ahead and give this a padding horizontal of medium and also padding vertical of medium. So let's save that to see what we have. It doesn't really make sense this way. Why don't we do it this way? Let's say wrap this in another box and put it here. And close this box. So that will be better, so that it doesn't use the original box in case we want to apply some other things to it. So I don't actually want us to use this background, so let's just use background of white. So that text now shows. So for these icons here, for this email top, we have a padding. We also should have a padding horizontal of small. So let's save. So that makes it looks nicer. So we are done with all the text. So right now let's go ahead and work on the main box. So after this email top, if you notice here, we kind of have, I think we kind of have a height here. Over here we also have a box, but without a height. So beneath that box, we are going to have another box with a height of 0.8 multiplied by the height. That is, we just want 8% of the height, and give it a background color of white, give it a padding top of large, and let's save that. So even if I give this a background color primary, hopefully you should be able to see where it is occupying. So you see the remaining space is what we actually want to make use of. So I want to give this a white color back. So inside this box, I'm going to be using a flat list from React Native gesture handler, because that would be better for us to do this kind of animation. Or even if you want to use from React Native, from normal React Native, there is no issue, but just flow along with me. So let's go back to where we are. So inside here, we can just give it a data of emails. So we've not yet imported that emails. So right here, we have to import email data from email data. So I want this email data to be dynamic. I can just come here and construct an email from our state and also set email. Yeah, so we can just say use state. So the use state is going to be coming from React Native. So make sure you grab that. And let me just quickly import that in case it didn't. Okay, it got imported. So back to here, you can just say use effect. I think we can just go ahead and set the email. So we can just say email data. That should probably work. But for some reason, when we use the use effect, so use effect is better than just doing that. So we could say we have to rely on email data for this one. Then we can just set emails of email data. Then here, make sure you change this to emails to avoid that error. So our application is working fine again, and we don't have use effect. Let me just go ahead and bring in the use effect, and let's save again, and the error goes away. So why is it not taking up the email data? So we have email data here. So this, or let's just leave it whenever the component loads. Let's just use it that way. Then for this one, for it to show, we can say emails.length is greater than 0. We want to show this, else no. Else it's not going to show anything. But if you wish to add something like, let's say, a text of loading, there's nothing wrong with that. So let's give this a variant of title and give it a color of primary. So in case we don't yet have an email, it should automatically show us that it's loading. Let me kind of console.log emails and check in our console. So our image is actually loading, but for some reason, I don't know why we couldn't see that loading text. Probably because Okay, I wonder because we are not using primary. So I don't know why, but let's just go ahead. It's just a minor fix. We can still come back to that. So we are going to have a key extractor from item. Then we have item.id.toString. Then we also have the render item. But before we go over to the render item, we have to handle the scroll total event to 16 so that it's gonna be smooth, and also we don't want to show the vertical indicator. Then for the render item, we're gonna have a parenthesis with an item. Then we can just map this to email item. So this was supposed to be double parentheses. So that for this one, we can now return a callback. And here we can return, let's say, let me kind of give it a text to see what we have. So emails. So nothing still returns. Okay, right now you could see our emails. So everything is working pretty fine and pretty good. So this was supposed to be if it's less than 0, not if it is greater than 0. So you see that loading, then whenever the component launches or loads and populates the email address, emails is going to automatically goes away. Still not going out. I don't know. Let's just, so guys, I think the best thing I can do is just to set this here because use effect is kind of delaying us the way it shouldn't. Let me just go ahead and refresh. So we are seeing a failed color prop, and I don't know why we have that error. And failed color prop. So let me kind of check what the error means. It says color text of #070. That's probably because we didn't set something properly here. So 070, so we can see it over here. So just make sure you 07070. So 24246. So let's save that. Make sure that is up to 6. And for this one, since we are not using the ternary operator, since we are not using the use effects, we can still get rid of this one. So let me just leave it there in case you decide to, or let's just get rid of it totally. There's nothing wrong with that. So everything is working properly now. So over here you could see we have our email item, and we just have to quickly make use of that email item. So what I have to do is to close this and also close this, and we are going to open the email item container. So this is gonna have the RFE in order to bring it down. Then we have the email item, and the email item is going to accept some couple of things. So the first one is email item. This is supposed to be a small letter. So for now, let's just pass that email item, and we have to return a box. So quickly, let's go ahead and import that from component/theme. We have the box and also the text. So this is not some kind of, let's say, how do I put it? This is not some kind of special container, but just for the email container. And we're gonna give it a height of, let me kind of check something, guys. Sorry for that delay. So let's just give it a height of 100. So that solves it. And let's go ahead and start working on it. Let's give this a height of the height. And then we can just go ahead and do some other things that is very necessary inside of it. So we are still going to bring in the email. So for the email layout component we created, we've not yet done anything on it. So let's just go ahead and do something here quickly. So we have the email layout. So let's give this a box for now. Oh guys, sorry for that. Export defaults. I didn't know when I click that. So we export defaults of email layout. So for this one, we can just bring in the email layout. So we are gonna pass this prop. So let's say, okay, let's just pass the height prop, and let's also work on this. So we say ROFE. So guys, sorry for that little delay. I'm just trying to remember some things. Then for this one, we can just have a box. So I'm still going to show you why we actually want to also use this and also the email layer together. So for this city here as well, we can also pass the prop, I guess. Yeah. So we can just pass the height prop as well. So what you see here, it's a call to action. Remember that when you swipe on a Gmail, you can see an archive icons at the back. So that's exactly what the call to action is. So we want to call to action to add to archive. So I just added it there, although we are not working on that. We are just working on the swipe. Then for this email layout itself, it's exactly this whole design over here, you see. So let's just go ahead and work on that call to action. Then we can work on the email layout. So for now, I'm going to comment this out, and we can just go over to call to action. So first of all, you need to make sure you bring in that height we added to it, and here we're gonna have a flex direction. We're not getting anything because we don't yet have the box. It's from company/theme, and here we can just bring in the box as well as the text. Flex direction of row, and we have to justify content to flex end. And sorry guys for that. We can give it a custom style. So for the custom style, we are going to create a style immediately, because I want to use the style sheet from React Native. So we have the style sheet, and here we can create a style sheet.create. Then we have here the style sheet.absolute fill. So this is what I forgot to pronounce earlier. I wanted to use this because I wanted to fill this height over here to make use of this whole height without applying a fixed height. So probably we may not use this, but let's still go along. If need be, we're still going to use it. Then we have a background color of hash E1, E2, E3. We have a flex direction, so I don't know why we are not getting any recommendation. Oh, so sorry guys. So this is styles. Let's first of all give it a background key. Then we can just, so a flex direction of flex, and lastly we can align the items to center and give it an overflow of hidden, but not really necessary, but for some reason let's just still add that. So that solves it for it, and we can just come over here and just let's say style.background. So it's kind of long, and let's break things down over here so that you can actually see it properly. Then inside here we're gonna have a box with a flex of 1. And I think this one we can give it a height. Yes, this one we can give it a height, and we can give it a background color of green. So all these color is already in our style. So something is actually wrong because something is not formatting properly. So let's kind of figure that out, and that is because I'm using the wrong word. Still not working properly. So I kind of did something wrong there. So we could say, okay, this was supposed to be double. So styles.background, yeah, this was supposed to be double curly braces. So just go ahead and fix that, and let's see, move on. And for this one, we're gonna have 2 boxes inside. We also have another box, and this box is going to contain the icon, the archive icon, as well as this one is going to contain the archive icon. So these icons are coming from the SVG icons. So we have the archive icon. So all these are there for you in the GitHub repository. And let's go ahead and finish the styling of this one. So let me kind of save to see what we have. So we already have CTA. We've not yet saved this, I think. Okay, we didn't even bring the email item over here. So I can just bring in the email item, and I can just pass the email item to it. So let's save, and probably when that refreshes, we should be able to see the CTA. So invalid prop or flex end, justify content. So where is the error coming from? So we have E1. So the error is coming from here. Let's kind of figure out what happened. So let's do it again. Not actually working. So we don't even need to add that again, because over here we already have a flex end. Then for this one, we can give a flex direction of row. So let me break it down. And we can justify the content to space between. And we also have the align items to center and padding horizontal of medium. So right now you could see the archive icons at the back, which kind of showing us that we are making a little bit of progress. So when we go back to that email item from the email layout here, okay, for the email layouts, we now have to work for this particular design. So let's go over to email layout. So we are done with the CTA. So I'm just going to save that, and let's go over. So for this one, we just have a box. So I can just import component/theme, and we can just import the box. So let's go ahead and save that. Then in our email layout, we have to do a lot of work here. So let's just quickly do that. Have a padding horizontal of medium, padding vertical of medium as well. So let me kind of break this down. Then we also have a flex direction of row, a height of, we didn't export that height. So since we did export it, I think exporting the height wouldn't be necessary. We can just import it like this way. So let me just put down height, and here we can just put down the height and give it a background color of white. So probably that should replace our CTA. And we have a box. We're gonna have a box. We also have another box. So I'm just trying to put my head together in order to do this. So for this one, this one is going to have the avatar. So if you check here, we have this avatar text, then we have the message and also the time. Then let's go ahead and work for the one of avatar. So let's give it a fixed width. So the fixed width of 60, and so here we can just use that avatar from React elements with a container style. So we have background color. So for this one now, we now have a background color, but before we get there, let me just quickly finish this. So we want it rounded. Then for the title as well, the title is going to be coming from somewhere as well. Then for the size, we can give it a size of 48. So why I gave this space is because we are going to now be using the data that we passed from Gmail, which is the email item. We're going to grab that over here, and then we can pass the email item here. And then we are not going to need that in CTA, but rather we are going to need it here, which is the email item. So I suggest you guess that we have email item.color, and as well here we have email item.title. So we have title avatar, which is AV, and let's go ahead and save that. So right now you could see it gives us some couple of random colors. We just a little bit of title, and for the next one here we're gonna have a flex of 1 because we want to make use of the remaining spaces, and then we give it a padding left of medium. Then inside that we are gonna have a box, so we have double text. So for this text, this is exactly the text at the top here, the great symbol. Then we have the text for the time. So let me just quickly say email item dot title and also email item dot time. Then here we are gonna have a flex direction of row, justify content of space between. I think we're in problem, so we didn't import the text, and let's save that again. Then here we have a variant of title, and we can give it a custom font size of 16. And lastly, we can give it a color of black. Then for this one, let's just copy this, get rid of this, and change this to time. So for this one, I can just say primary 3. So that gives us a very nice text. Then the last one we have is, after this box, we have a text. So we have here email item dot subtitle. We have a variant of title, color of primary 3, font size of 14, and also a margin. So guys, sorry for that, it's too long. A margin top of small. And I can save that. So you'll see automatically everything takes effect. And one more thing, we also have another text. So for this text, we're gonna have a color of silver 1, font size of 12. And lastly, we can give it a margin top of small. So let's save. And you could see we have thank you, sign up, welcome to Great Simple. So this is now a very nice organized Gmail application. So the only thing remaining now is we have to add start our animation. So for this one, I didn't add anything here. So this is supposed to be email item dot call to action. So you'd see subscribe to our newsletter. So everything is looking fine now, and everything is looking very simple and very neat. So the next thing, like I said, is the animation, and let's get started with the animation. So I want to check whether I forgot something. Okay, it kind of looks similar to our application, except that we didn't add the rating, or sorry, the add to favorite. Oh, I also forgot to add this, so I think we can also quickly do that before we go over to the animation. That would be on Gmail, so that should be at the bottom here. So let me kind of quickly open that. So at the bottom here, we're gonna have it over here. So we're gonna have it here. So this is the best. So we can say boss with a position of absolute, and we can give it a right of 20, a bottom of 10, and let me close this. You can give it a send icon from SVG icon. So that should solve it, and we should be able to see something here. So right now you could see we have that compose icon. So application is looking nice, and immediately let's go over to animation. If you have really come this far, I would like you to hit that like button and also the subscribe button, and let's go over to animations. So guys, welcome back, and let's go over to the animation. I'm just going to quickly start the application again, and before we move ahead, we can just go ahead and import some couple things from, let's say, gesture handler. I also have to import something from redash. I also have to import from Reanimated. So for Reanimated, we have to import the animated, and from redash, we have to import the use PangestureHandler, and for this one, we have to import the PangestureHandler, the states, and also touchable opacity. And I'm just going to wrap this with touchable opacity and also animated.view. And I'm going to go ahead and save. So when we tap that, you could see it's working, but we don't want that green background to be showing. I want to give this a background color of white. So that saves the day. So I just have to wrap this with PangestureHandler, and we can come here and extract some things from use PangestureHandler. So with the help of PangestureHandler, we can get the gesture handler, the state, the velocity. We are going to be using the velocity to calculate the snap point and also the translation. So we can just come back here and just put down the gesture handler, and we are set. So with the help of use code from, I think from Reanimated, the use code hawk, we can just do some calculation with some condition from Reanimated as well. I think the use code is from redash, okay, from Reanimated. So I can quickly import equal sign, condition, set, add, because we are going to be using this. And for the redash, I can quickly import the use value, and I think here we also have to import the timing, because we're going to be using that for the snapping, which is going to be very cool for us. And over here, I'm going to check for the first condition, which is equal to the state. So we're gonna check for state.active. So whenever we start dragging or swiping our email, we are going to trigger that. So what I have to do first is to define translation values or transition values. So I can just say transition values. So I have to define translation X, which is a use value of 0. And also for the offset, we are going to be using the offset to store the initial value of the translation X whenever we stop swiping, because we are still going to add the offset value to the translation X, whether it's 0 or whenever we release our hand from our swipe. So I can just say offset value, remember. So let me just call it remember value. So we have offset X, which is also a use value of 0. So whenever we start swiping, we can actually set the TLX is equal to, I want to add the initial value from the offset X. So we use the add, let's say offset S. Then we have to add the current value of the swipe, which is translation.x to it. And if we come here, let's say in this animated, and add a transform property here with a translate, let's say translate X. So I didn't get that because I didn't use curly braces. So we can just pass the TLX here. So hopefully that should work. And let's save and give it a try. So if we don't have any error, you could see right now, I can be able to swipe using the PangestureHandler. So everything is working perfectly, but what about whenever we end? This value is not retained because if you check here, the offset X is still 0 and there is no way we still have this value retained, which we kind of make it to snap back to where it's coming from. So I don't know why it's not actually working now, but initially it was working. But let's go ahead. We don't have any error. So for this one, I'm going to check for the condition of the state.end. So whenever our state ends, I have to set the offset X to the translation X. So that solves it as well. So it's going to make us to remain where we are. So initially it was supposed to snap back. That is one reason I don't like using Android phone for development. Sometimes it's not kind of responsive. So probably if I refresh the application, it will work. But I don't even know why it's not willing to refresh. Let's restart that. So while that is refreshing, we have to now set for the snap points. So in your Google application, when you swipe a little bit from the right or a little bit from the left and release your hand, you see it goes back to where it was coming from. And we're going to be doing that with React Native. So let's go ahead and define snap points. So the snap point is going to be an array. So an array provided from redash. So I want to snap with these values. The application not yet started, so I don't know why. It's kind of safe. So what I mean is that I want a situation that when I swipe a little bit from here and release my hand, it goes back because the snap point is going to automatically select the position it should snap back to. And also when I swipe a little bit from left, it's going to go back because over here you notice that we have negative width when we swipe completely. We have 0 when we swipe a little bit from 0. Then when we swipe totally to the right, that's the three snap points. Then let's go ahead and construct the snap. So we want to snap with the snap point from, I think, from redash. So make sure you have that imported from redash. Yeah. So I want to snap with from using the translation X values. We want to select velocity, which kind of make it look very responsive. Then we can pass our snap points, and it's going to automatically select that. So let's go over to end. So whenever we end our animation, we just want to set the offset, the translation X to timing. So timing is kind of make things responsive. So we want to set it from the initial position to the TLS, and make sure you save that. So hopefully when we swipe a little bit from 0, we should be able to go back. Swipe here, we should be able to go back. So when we swipe almost completely to the right, it disappears. And when we swipe almost completely to the left, it disappears. But if we swipe, let's say that 0 was in the center, so from here it's going to make a selection, and also from there it's going to invert. Anything from here or anything a little bit from 0 is going to remain the way it is. So that's it for the snap points. So let me just refresh the application again, and we should be okay with that. So the next thing we have to do now is to handle it in such a way that whenever we swipe completely or swipe something out, we should be able to delete that from our array, from our dynamic array over here. So if you check from here, from the Gmail application, we are passing the dynamic array of emails. So we want to handle that. So let's go ahead and work on it, that whenever we swipe and delete this totally, we should be able to remove that particular item from our list. And we're going to, first of all, create a cons of email height. I want the height as well to be 0 because we want it to be dynamic. So we can use the height, and let's say dynamic height. And also we want it in such a way that whenever we delete, so let's say deleted actions, and also clock timing for event end. So for this one, we have clock, which is going to be coming from use clock. So for the use clock, we just want to set it here in order to show us that this animation has ended, because we are going to be using that use clock to actually get rid of that from our list. Okay, then from here we have cons removed from left. So this remove from left is going to be checking from our snap point, and it's going to check whether we are going from the left, and also remove from the right. It's going to also check whether we are going from the whether we deleted anything from the right as well. So whenever we are done here, all we just want to do is we have to check for the condition of removed from left. In the case that we remove from left, we have to delete that item. So we have remove from left. First of all, when we remove from left, let's reset the height. So I can just say set, let's say set email height. Let's use timing, and here we want to set from. So let me break this down so that you can see it properly. I want to set it from email height to 0. So same thing we did here, we also have to do it for the right. So I can just copy this, paste it down, and we can just say removed from the right. And that will now lead us to the height property here. So the height property here is the dynamic email height. And let's kind of go ahead and save that, and you see that item refreshes. So when we remove this, you see it goes away, and when we remove this as well, so everything is working perfectly. But another thing is right now we are not able to know whether the item has been deleted from our list, and for us to do that, we have to now use the clock to actually trigger that. We can just say for the condition of the clock running. So we have to first of all wrap it with the clock not running. So when the clock is not running, just like you know how you can use the exclamation mark for normal expressions. So when the clock is not running, we just have to simply do these things. We have to call with a callback of on email swipe. So an email swipe is a function that we are going to create shortly. So we have to pass email item.id. We want to use the ID and filter it out. So whenever we are done with the animation, and same thing you did for this one, same thing you will do for remove from right. So any one of it, just go ahead and do that. And we are not going to save because we are going to call on email swipe here. We are going to first of all put that function here. So let me kind of console.log removed, and let's save. So in my console, I can just open this. So when I swipe this, you'd see it tells me removed, and when I swipe this as well, it tells me removed. So you could see everything is working perfectly. And let's go ahead and filter that out from this part. So to filter it out is very simple. Inside this Gmail file, we just have to create a cons of new emails. So maybe you're using Redux. This is a perfect time for you to dispatch to your Redux and then make a request using the actions to dispatch to, let's say, your backend in case you have any backend connected to it. So we have the ID, and we can say the ID is not equal to item ID. So if the ID is not equal to the item ID, so the item ID is coming from here. So guys, sorry guys, if I'm too fast, I'm just trying as much as possible to make sure that this tutorial doesn't waste time. So maybe I'm too fast, making a lot of mistakes. I'm sorry for that. So let me just go ahead and console.log again, and we can just put the new emails there before we set that emails. So I'm just going to refresh this application. So for some reason, I don't know why trying to refresh using the Expo menu is not actually working fine. So while that is being refreshed, we can set the emails to new emails. So this is also an array. We can just, okay, or we can just set an empty array in case you don't have any email data. So that's it. And probably that will work if our application happens to refresh fast. So let me kind of open the emulator over here. So let's refresh and check. You could see it consoles log.that value, or it consoles that value out. And let's remove this one that has dribble. So you could see here we don't have any dribble. We have Google Play. We have, I think it came back. It came back because we are not using Redux, of course. What do you expect? The application is going to refresh. It will kind of re-render and everything will still come back.